What's up, YouTube? So in this video, I'm going to be giving my game day report for the Miami Dolphins game today against the Jets. Teron Armstead is listed as questionable despite him not participating in practice all week, but that's kind of Teron Armstead. Mike McDaniel was optimistic about him playing, though. Same with Kader Kohu, despite him still being listed as questionable as well. Kendall Lamb and Kendall Fuller have both been cleared to go, which is fantastic. Anthony Walker is sounding like he's probably going to go as well. He's actually been playing some pretty good football for us, too. Bradley Chubb, who has returned to practice, same with Cameron Good. They're not going to be playing today, though. They're not quite ready. Blake Ferguson, we're still going to be without. I'm guessing he's listed as questionable, but again, we elevated a long snapper, so I don't expect that we would keep two long snappers on the active game day roster, so I assume Blake Ferguson won't play. Raheem Mostert, listed as questionable, had limited participation in practice all week. Honestly, I wouldn't necessarily mind it if he sat down this week. One, we could use him for the later playoff push, and two, I almost feel like we might be better off with Jeff Wilson. Not because of anything Raheem Mostert has done or hasn't done. It's just the fact that I feel like Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert, and Jalen Wright are kind of the same type of running back. They're all kind of speed guys, and we're kind of struggling in the red zone a little bit. I wouldn't mind having a little bit more power in our running back room, and Jeff Wilson is literally just right there as a healthy scratch all year, so I wouldn't mind having him instead of Mostert. That's just kind of my thought, especially if Mostert is hurt anyway. But yeah, that kind of is what that is. As far as the Jets go, they're also very beat up. Breece Hall is listed as out this game. So that is going to be pretty huge, honestly. Sauce Gardner is doubtful. So that's, again, huge. Didn't participate in practice all week. And their offensive line is very hurt. They got a lot of guys that are listed as questionable. And even if they do play, how well are they going to play? Morgan Moses has a knee and shoulder injury. Elijah Vera Tucker has an ankle. Olu Fashanu with a toe injury. So they're all potentially going to be playing. They're both starting tackles and they're starting right guard, respectively. So that is pretty tough for them. Elijah Vera Tucker didn't participate in practice Wednesday or Thursday, and Morgan Moses didn't participate Wednesday. So that's pretty big. Quantez Stiggers has been listed as out as well. One of their backup corners behind Sauce Gardner, so I think that's gonna potentially hurt them. Xavier Newman, also one of their backup interior guys. Center/guard. He's listed as questionable with a groin injury. Had limited participation Friday, so we'll see. They are definitely littered with injuries too, especially on that offensive line. Even if those guys do play, which I kind of feel like they probably will, because they haven't elevated any offensive linemen yet, and that's a lot of O linemen to replace. So I have a feeling most of them, if not all of them, will probably go. But if they do, how limited are they? Hopefully we can get some pass rush on them. Chop Robinson's been playing pretty well. And Ogba's actually played pretty well as well. Zach Sealer and Calais Campbell, especially Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell's going nuts. So hopefully we can have some success there. But the Jets still do have some things to worry about. Offensively, yeah, Breece Hall is not going to be here, but Braylon Allen is still solid. Isaiah Davis as well. Don't sleep on him. Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, of course, at wide receiver. Those guys can be a threat. Tyler Conklin, Jeremy Ruckert, those guys are all solid as well at tight end. Rodgers, who hasn't been playing Aaron Rodgers football at all, can still hurt you. He is still a veteran quarterback, but he definitely hasn't been playing as well as expected. But I'm not ever sleeping on him. That just kind of is what that is. But really, where you have to worry is the Jets' defense. Quinnen Williams, it starts with him. At defensive tackle, he's a monster. Javon Kinlaw, Will McDonald, Hassan Reddick, those guys are all solid support guys too. They're all very solid players in their own right. some pretty decent linebackers. Like I said, their DB room is a little beat up. Quantez Stiggers is going to be out, who's one of the backups. But with Sauce Gardner being doubtful, he could have been someone that could have stepped up, but he is listed as out. So, I mean, they are pretty beat up there. DJ Reed is still going to play. He's still a very good player. So definitely not sleeping on him in that regard. Michael Carter II is also pretty solid. So, yeah. I definitely think this is a team we can beat. I think it's a team we have to beat because we pretty much have to win out at this point. I mean, we're 5-7, so, you know, we're kind of out of tanking range at this point. So you're going to have to try to win out and make the playoffs. I mean, if we had one more loss, 9-8, that's going to be pretty dicey trying to make the playoffs at this point. So we pretty much have to run the table at this point. We made this bed, and now we got to try to do our best to lay in it and try not to die. That's just kind of where we're at this point. But yeah, I'll be curious to see what happens. I mean, it is at home. Hopefully, we can find a way to come up with this. Like I said, they're pretty beat up. So if we're gonna beat them, this is the time to do it. So yeah. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. If you liked it, appreciate hitting that like button. Have any questions or comments in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.